Hi, this is the online version of my glitch codec tutorial workshop. My name is Nick Breeze, and I'm a new media artist, thinker, and organizer. So, in the mid-2000s, I went to film school in hopes of becoming a filmmaker, but I quickly realized that film was a bit too expensive for me, and so I would be forced to use film's much cheaper little brother, digital video. And the trend at the time in film school was to get your videos to look as much like film as possible. But it wasn't too long into film school before I realized that something wasn't right about this approach. It seemed counterproductive, so I gave myself an ultimatum. If I was going to keep shooting on digital video, I needed to establish a relationship with the digital medium. That's what I told myself. And so after some thinking, I decided that meant making a video straight from binary code. Um, that I realized that was damn near impossible, but after doing some research and experimenting, I realized that I could open up and see the code beneath a video file that already existed. And so I started to experiment and mess around with that. And what resulted were these harsh, noisy, colorful pixel artifact explosions. And I was convinced that these were digital's natural aesthetics. And then quickly I came across others on the internet doing similar work, and some of them did so under the guise of glitch art. And that sounded cool, so I began using the term to describe my work to my peers and film professors in my efforts to explain to them exactly what it was I was doing. Um, After lots of experimentation, research, and work, I realized, of course, that I already had a relationship to digital technologies, that we all have a relationship to digital technologies. And this relationship went beyond just my work in video. Um, and this glitch approach radically changed my perspective and drastically informed that relationship. And though I made a lot of videos and web art as a result of these experiments, I more recently realized that the heart of what I was doing was in the process of making these things. So I put together this workshop to share that process. And by process, I don't just mean technically, but ideologically as well. The idea is that this glitch codec tutorial is equal parts technical workshop and theoretical lecture. So I explain not only my tools, tips, and tricks, but my feelings, philosophy, and ethic as well. So a good place to start is defining glitch art. Um, and in order to do that, we'll need some JPEGs and a text editor. So do a Google image search and then take an image and drag it onto your desktop. Anytime you're glitching, hacking, or generally experimenting with digital files, it's always good to make a backup just in case. It's just good practice. So you want to do that. Then once you've done that, double click your JPEG and it should pop up in your default image viewer. So the computer knows that a JPEG is an image file, so it assumes you want it opened in your default image viewer. But really a JPEG is just a container for ones and zeros, for binary code. The same is true of every other digital file, DMGs, MOVs, MP3s, whatever. What we're looking at in this image viewer is simply your default viewer's interpretation of the code that makes up this JPEG. So if we control-click the JPEG and hover over Open With, we'll get a list of other applications on your computer that can open up images. And if you click on the bottom where it says Other, then a window will pop up that'll show you all your applications. You want to make sure that where it says Enable, you have that set to all applications. And then scroll through there and choose Text Edit, and then open it up with that. And what you'll get is an ASCII representation of the binary data of your JPEG. So these two things are the same. It's just one is the text edit's interpretation of the data, and the other is your default image viewer's interpretation of the data, but they're the same file that you're looking at. So go into your text edit and scroll down into somewhere into the middle and just type in some stuff into your editor, and then save it. Then go back to your image that's opened up in your image viewer and click it, and it's glitched. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff we can do here. If you go back to your text editor, you can copy a big chunk and then paste it and then save that and then go back to your image. You can also go into your text edit and use the find option and find and replace and turn all your G's into Z's or something, and then go back to your image and view it. And each time it'll just get more and more glitched. So glitch art is often this kind of hacking. This technique in specific is known as data bending. Glitch art is about breaking through some of the assumptions and interfaces that govern our relationship to computers. And through this kind of playful experimentation, reorient our understanding of digital technologies.